This is the third video that's telling you the instructions of how to write your waltz for the Writing a Waltz Year 9 assessment project. Today we're going to be looking at the melody, at the tune, and that's going to go up here on the top track. Okay, so by now, if you've completed the last lesson, you should have chords all the way along here up to bar 32. You should also have filled in this sheet here with which chords you are using so you can refer back to that. Okay, I just need to fill that in with what I've decided to use. There we go, and I've actually used an exact copy in my fourth phrase, so there we go. So I've got the beginning here, so let's just have a little listen to it. Okay, now if I double click this, I can look at it in here and I can see that those notes are C, and then that note is G, A, B, G. So C, G, A, B, G. On the piano it sounds like this. Okay, what we're going to be looking at is seeing whether we can develop this idea so that we can use it and create some more tune. And I'm going to take you through a number of different techniques that you can use to do this. So this bit of tune, we can see it goes through bar 1 and through bar 2 a little bit. So I'm going to make sure that this time I start in bar 3. But I've got an F chord here, so I can't play the same thing. I've got to find something that fits with my chord, because here C, G and G were all notes of the chord I was using, because I used C chord for 2 bars there. So that works. So if I'm moving to an F chord, my first note could stay as C. So I could use this C chord, and then I could move to the C. But I'd have to change the G to something else. Okay, so that's one possibility. So I could have the C one that's already there, and then start on C again. Okay, we'll make it slightly different so it fits with the chords that I'm going to use. Okay, or I could change my first note. So I've been using C, and I had C in the melody, so C with C. And then if I'm moving to an F chord, I could move to an F. Okay, or I could choose that middle note. So start on C here, and then my A. Okay, now I've got a repeated note, which I don't really like. So I'm going to try out a number of ideas. Okay, because I'm moving to that G chord at the end there, ideally I want to end on a G, so it sounds really nice. So instead of going in order, E, F, G, A, I've just swapped over those last 2 notes so I end in the right place. A, E, F, A, G. Okay, so I could try and record that bit here. Okay, to do that I need my instrument. Okay, now the difficulty here, of course, is that I need to make sure it's at the right pitch. So I've been playing on A. That sounds about right. That's not A. Oops, I did not want to play that. Okay, so it's going to be... That's going to be right. Okay, so I'm going to press record. Here we go. And remember, if I've played it not particularly well, because it's a bit tricky, I can double click it and I can look at what's going on here. Okay, the first thing to do is to quantize it. If you've used notes the same length as mine, you can quantize in eighths because that's quavers. Okay, although that one we can see has moved to the wrong place. Not quite sure why it's done that. Okay, let's have a listen to it. And that works now. Okay, so I've got 2 slightly different ideas there. Okay, now the next idea we could look at is inversion. So my first idea went from a high note down and then back up. So I went down and then up. For my next idea, I could use something the other way round. I've got an A minor chord coming up next, and I've just finished on the note G, So I could start on an A, which is next to it, or I could start on an E, but I'm aiming for a D here. So I've got A chord, D chord, so I could start on that E and see if I can do something the other way up. So it's the same rhythm as that first section, but it's using a different order. So I've flipped it over, and instead of going from high, low and back up again, I'm going low, jumping up high and coming back down again. So I'm going to try and record that in. Here we go. Need my instrument back. Here we go. So I'm starting on E, finishing there. Here we go. Ready? Okay. Now what you find when you do melody like this is that quite often it doesn't join up very nicely. So at the moment I've got 3 very separate bits if you listen to it. And then a big gap. Another gap. Okay, so what I can do is I can use things to join up. So this one here, let's have a look at it. Ends on G. This one starts on A. So I could get my pencil, and just before it I could put maybe a B in. Let's have a listen to that and see if it sounds more joined up. I quite like that. Okay, if I wanted more notes I could put a G in there as well. Have a listen again. And always the important notes are the notes that fit with the chord. So bar 1 I've got that C, fits with my C chord. Bar 2 I've got a G, that fits with my C chord. Here in bar 3 I've got an A, which fits with my F chord. It's so important that every bar, the main notes, they fit with the chords. If that works, then everything will work. Okay? When you're finishing your melody, don't forget that this bit that you're doing for the first 8 bars here, you're going to copy across here so that it follows on from bar 17 as well. And then phrase 2 and phrase 4, you need to create using whatever chord sequence you've got. Remember, you should have done that last lesson. There you go, that's the end of video 3.